Now, in Pakistan, it's all too easy for young people to be exposed to ideas such as extremism, hate speech and violence against women. So helping them to reject those ideas is important to building a peaceful and tolerant society. That's why the work of the Chanan Development Association has been highlighted by Commonwealth Youth Work Week. The group's founder is a finalist for the Youth Worker of the Year Award, which will be announced here in London later in the week. And I'm pleased to announce that Mohammed Shahzad is here in the studio with me. Mohammed, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.
It's quite interesting, the work that the Chanan Development Foundation does. Just tell us a little bit more about it.
Well, first of all, I would like to thank Commonwealth for recognizing the work of young people throughout the world through this Commonwealth Youth Work Week and also these awards, because it really helps to get the recognition of youth workers' work. As far as Chanan Development Association's work is concerned, CDA is a national youth-led organization striving for meaningful participation and empowerment of youth in Pakistan since 2004. So we have a mission to ensure the meaningful participation of young people, particularly young girls, in decision-making and policy-making processes, so that these young people can counter not only the violent extremism and hate speech, but also other customary practices such as violence against women, early forced marriages, and these sort of stuff. And also we are working to engage young people through different implements such as interactive theatre, peer education, media as one of the implements, and also using information technology to help young people present the counter narrative and promote the messages of peace in Pakistan.
Because it's interesting, you yourself have faced many of these challenges. How did you get started? Just tell us a little bit.
Actually, I belong to one of the villages in South Punjab where there was, beside other customary practices, one of the customary practices, the early forced marriage. When I was 12, I learned that my elder sister she was to be forcibly married with a landlord. So at that time, I didn't know what to do. So what I did was I couldn't eat anything, and then my family also joined that. And then my father finally had to call off the marriage. And as soon as we did that, we were socially boycotted by the whole clan. So we migrated to Lahore. And it was quite a challenging experience because one day we were living a life of landlord, and the next day we were living in Lahore in a rented house, but somehow we survived there, and I got admission in a government school. I completed my education there, and one day I was sitting and shared this with my some of friends, and I was surprised that they also had similar kind of experiences. So that's where actually the whole idea of Chanan came into being, that we all decided, you know, we are here, we were able to contribute something to our families, but there's still hundreds and thousands of women and girls and young people who are facing similar kind of challenges. So maybe it's our turn now to pay back to those young people. So we started a theatre group initially in 2004, and with that theatre group we start doing reaching out to communities, generating dialogues about these issues, and engaging young people at grassroots level.
Has the response been positive? Because a lot of these communities, especially in the Punjab, for example, are very conservative, and they wouldn't feel comfortable about sending their daughters to these sorts of groups.
Well, we have seen a very great response indeed, because the methodology that we were using was quite engaging, and people were actually being able to understand the consequences of such customary practices. And also our approach was quite different because we were targeting the young people. So what we were doing, we were identifying those young people who had some potential, you know, and who were ready to challenge this customary practice. So we were identifying these young people, we were training them, we were building their capacities and helping them in terms of getting into the mainstream, because the great work that these young people are doing is unfortunately not being recognized most of the times, because mostly these young people are considered either the beneficiaries of these peace processes, or you know, or they are considered to be the troublemakers. But what we have seen is these young people are the active contributors of their societies, and they are really being able to contribute very positively through the work that we are doing.
And just very quickly, you've got an app where you can report hate speech.
Yes, actually, we have recently developed this cafe entrepreneurship where young people have gone through a process, they have developed their own solutions, and we had the Peace Hackathon where we selected finally this hate speech app, which we are in the process of developing, will be launching in this January, which helps the people to report the hate speech without showing their identity, which will actually help us, you know, to support the government's efforts under the National Action Plan to counter violent extremism in Pakistan.
Well, well done, and good luck today, Mohammed.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much for coming in.